is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Right now at 6 on Good Morning Indiana. A safe place to call home is something a lot of us take for granted. We're live with how a vote expected today could help those stuck in unsafe living conditions.
Grab the umbrella as you walk out the door today. You'll be using it, especially this afternoon and this evening, as rain is set to return to central Indiana.
It's been almost 2 months since her daughter was killed, and this morning there are still no leads.
Please do it for Alexis. She did not deserve this.
Our grieving mother is now calling on friends and strangers to help solve this case.
The spread of the coronavirus has people in China and around the world wearing a face mask. Working for you. We're looking into whether you need to buy a mask so you don't waste your money.
And 6 o'clock here on our Monday, February 24th. Thanks for joining us on Good Morning Indiana.
So driving into work today, I saw 41 degrees, which means it's summertime in Indiana, right?
Seriously.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about it.
So you're going to officially put that snowblower away finally.
It's in the garage for the rest of the season.
Well, the only precipitation that we've got today is in the form of rain, right, Todd?
Yeah, that's the good news. You know, you mentioned that 41, Raphael, above freezing this morning. Temperatures will climb a little bit throughout the day today. So any precipitation that falls today is just plain old rain. But grab the umbrella as you walk out the door. You'll definitely need it at some point. Nashville to Columbus to Seymour. Some pockets of a moderate rainfall there. And as we slide off towards the south and east a little bit more, light rain in Bloomington, just south of Bedford, a pocket of heavier showers over towards Spencer, back towards Sullivan as well. This will all continue to slowly lift to the north, so it'll probably arrive in the metro area by about 7 o'clock, a little bit longer to the north where you remain dry in Peru, probably until about 9, 10 o'clock. But this is a pretty big storm system that is going to be impacting us throughout the day today and into the day tomorrow. It's not going to rain at all times throughout the day today, but we'll have the potential of showers. And that's why you need to have the umbrella handy from start to finish. Temperatures right now anywhere from about 40 to 45 degrees. That's where we stay. The temperatures don't move much throughout the day today, but again, we'll remain above freezing, which is key. We'll talk more about your extended forecast, Lauren, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We have traffic picking up here on the near east side of town. This is our INDOT traffic camera at I-70 at Rural Street and Keystone Avenue. Traffic is moving along smoothly, as you can see, so let's plan out your east side drive, taking a look at our drive times on our maps. From Post Road to I-65 at the North Split as you're heading westbound. It's a 10-minute commute. No crashes, no delays to report around the metro area.
The time now is 6:02, and this morning law enforcement in Hendricks County asking for your help locating a missing teenager. We ask you to take a look at your screen right now. This is 16-year-old Patrick Day. He was last seen on Saturday afternoon in Avon. Day may be wearing a white Aeropostale jacket, a black t-shirt, blue jeans, and white shoes. If you've seen Patrick, Avon police want you to call them right away.
A deadly crash remains under investigation this morning near Terre Haute. State troopers say a Jeep rear-ended a semi on I-70 near the Illinois state line. The semi was slowing down for stopped traffic from an earlier crash. The driver of the Jeep died at the scene. Their identity has not been released. That semi driver was not injured. Meanwhile, a helicopter pilot is fighting for his life this morning after his chopper crashed in Wabash County. The crash happened around 6 Sunday evening near North Manchester. The pilot was flown to an area hospital for his injuries. FAA investigators are expected to be in Wabash County later this morning. Sheriff's officials say they don't deal with crashes like the one on Sunday very often.
We do not regularly deal with helicopter crashes. It really doesn't pose a challenge. Manpower would be our only challenge, to have manpower here to secure the scene until the FAA gets here to conduct their investigation.
So far, no sign as to what caused the crash. Again, the FAA will begin their investigation later today.
People who rent their homes or apartments here in Indianapolis may soon have an additional layer of protection. City County Council will vote tonight on the Tenant Protection and Legal Services Initiative. Our Alyssa Donovan is joining us live this morning with what this could mean for people here in Indianapolis. Alyssa, good morning.
Good morning. So essentially, the initiative would give residents a new way to report issues. It would also give them an added protection against landlords that are practicing unfair things in their housing developments. Now, this is an initiative that has already been voted on by a committee, and now it will be brought up to the City-County Council tonight, and that will be the final vote. We've talked to many people who have been trapped living in deplorable conditions due to unfair landlords, and this initiative would protect tenants from these types of situations. Right now, Indiana has some of the worst laws for renters in the country, with most legislation in favor of landlords. That's according to a poll done by rentcafe.com. This initiative would add more protection for renters in Indianapolis, which has the largest rental population in the state. If passed, landlords would be required to inform tenants of their rights up front. An information hotline would also go into place, and resources would be provided for renters to take legal action against their landlords who violate their rights to livable housing. Now, if this is passed, that information hotline and those resources for tenants to take legal action, all of that is expected to go into place this spring. Again, if that's passed tonight at the City-County Council session. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
The time now is 6:06. It's been almost 2 months since a young mother was killed. Her 3-year-old son was shot but survived. Now her family continues to push for an arrest in her case. The 26-year-old Alexis Edwards was shot and killed back on December the 29th outside of her home on West 52nd Street and Georgetown Road. This weekend, her family, including her mother who drove from Kentucky, spent hours passing out flyers. They hope their efforts will lead to answers. Her mother is offering a $2,000 reward for information leading to an arrest in her daughter's case.
Please do it for Alexis. She did not deserve this. She was a good person. She loved her children. Her 2 kids have to grow up without a mother. Our whole family is devastated.
A mother's plea this morning. IMPD says this still remains an open and active investigation. They want anyone who has tips or information about who shot Alexis to come forward and call Crime Stoppers.
A sign posted on a business on the northeast side of Indianapolis is shining a light on growing fear in the community. Jacqueline Phelps says the sign will now be posted on the front door of the Shadeland Flower Shop whenever workers are there alone. It reads, "Due to increased activity in the area, our doors will remain locked. Call and someone will let you in." This comes a few weeks after robbers shot and killed a Subway worker at a nearby location. A Kroger and Speedway in the area have also been robbed recently. Phelps says the neighborhood used to feel safe.
I've had customers that have told me within the last week, they were like, you know, this area was never like that. We never had to worry about our homes, never had to worry about going outside our homes and going shopping.
We reached out to the Binford Redevelopment and Growth Board about this issue. The president of the board tells RTV6 the group has met with IMPD and city council members. Officials are encouraging neighborhoods to start crime watches, and they're reminding businesses to update their surveillance cameras.
It is 6:08, and there are new developments this morning surrounding the scary Daytona 500 crash involving Hoosier native Ryan Newman. The 42-year-old saying in a statement, "I was fortunate to avoid any internal organ damage or broken bones," end quote. However, this morning Newman is revealing he is being treated for a head injury. He also says he's looking forward to getting back behind the wheel of a car, but before that happens, he must be cleared by his doctors and NASCAR. There's no word this morning on when that could happen.
So here's an eye-opening number. In our state, 90% of those with addiction problems begin using illicit drugs before their 18th birthday. And this morning, the state's only recovery high school is giving hope to kids addicted to drugs or alcohol, helping them graduate from high school. Hope Academy is the state's only recovery high school that helps students struggling with substance abuse and disorder, and also helping them with their academics. The entire goal of the high school is to help students on the path of recovery. On Sunday, they held their annual Taste of Hope event. It's a fundraiser that keeps them and helps them keep their doors open. Sarah Platt is one of the school's success stories.
There's a place that can help me. I'm thinking there was a place that I can be surrounded by like-minded people and people who understand what I'm going through and know how to offer me help, because I really had no clue.
Here's the great news. Today, Sarah works at the school as a peer specialist, helping guide students with the same struggles that she once faced. Hope Academy is a mayor-sponsored charter school with 30 students currently enrolled. The school plans to move to a new location next year so they can serve even more students. I had the privilege of serving as MC of the Taste of Hope event yesterday afternoon.
It is safe to say so far this winter has been pretty mild. This morning, farmers are getting ready for a busier spring because of it. Farmers say the moisture last fall put them behind, meaning they couldn't get everything done. According to one farmer, the warmer winter could mean more bugs, bacteria, and fungus come spring.
We like to have the real hard, cold, freezing weather. That helps with all those problems. So we might have a little bit more of that to deal with in the spring.
Right now, farmers are busy working on their equipment so they are ready to hit the fields come planting season.
A unique program at Ball State University is giving students the opportunity to take to the drafting table. New at 614, Hiring Hoosiers is looking at how architecture students are getting a unique experience diving into the history of nationally recognized buildings. Todd.
And after a great weekend with lots of sunshine and above normal temperatures, rain re-enters the forecast. In fact, the rain's falling for some of you already in southern locations. So grab the umbrella as you walk out the door this morning. You'll need it this afternoon and this evening. We'll time out the rain and let you know how long it's going to stick around coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 6:10. We're back in just a few minutes.
The 2020 Altima.
It is 6:13 on your Monday. Here's a live look at traffic on the north side. This is I-465 near Michigan Road, and look at all the headlights out that way. Traffic's moving along just fine, both eastbound and westbound. No slowdowns to report at this early hour.
Hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's focus on connecting you with jobs, resources, and training. And we'd love to find ways education can take you into a career.
Yeah, this semester, future architects at Ball State University, they're looking into the past to better prepare them for the future. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with a really unique way that they're doing this. Kelsey, got the Legos out. Good morning to you.
Good morning. So whether it be a building from Legos or a building that you see in Indianapolis' skyline, most of us see it for what it is, just a building. But for architects, they see the history of the building, how it was made, what it was used to make it, and what era it was made in. And Ball State architecture students are going through these old blueprints to learn more about the history of buildings in Columbus, Indiana, a place nationally recognized for its unique architecture. Some students are looking into buildings from the early 1900s, and in this class, they are learning how to look back at old blueprints so they can know where architecture was and where it's going.
Well, it's really important for them to learn how to do archival research, and it's not something that we always get to do in a design program. These students are architecture students. They are going to be going out into the field as architects, and it's really important for them to understand how to find historic documents that they can use when they're designing new buildings.
Barry tells me most of the time as architects, they will be working on existing buildings, so it's important that they know how to find blueprints and understand them. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll have more on this program and what the students are planning on doing with the stuff, with the research that they find out and how they're sharing it with the community. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Kelsey, thank you so much. The time now is 6:15, and sometimes, you know, food is the best cure for that dreary day. Like today, Storm Team 6 is forecasting it's going to be a little bit wet out there, so Devour B-Town kicks off today in Bloomington. Good morning, Monroe County, giving you the perfect excuse to try something new. 21 restaurants rolling out some special menus and pricing for the event. You can find the list of participating restaurants on devourbtown.org. The special menus will be available through March the 8th. This is the 5th year for Devour Bloomington, so come on, spend some time indoor today and just eat it up. You'll feel better at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
I would.
Oh, Brooks and I just went to Bloomington for Valentine's Day, and we went to a bunch of restaurants down there, and they were all really good. So
perfect.
It is a beautiful city.
Yeah.
Please visit it. I mean, there's plenty to do.
And Todd Clausen gave us some recommendations. The guy knows about good food.
He is the king of Broad Ripple and the king of Bloomington. Yes?
Yes.
Anything with a B.
It's great. Just walk down Kirkwood, and you go around the square.
See,
Lots of restaurants down there. And, of course, the Beeline, too. Get on the trail, too, and you can just get all around. All right, outside right now, the trail's probably not going to be the busiest place across central Indiana today, as we'll be dealing with showers off and on throughout most of the day, and some of that rain's already making its way into the area, and that location is in Bloomington, where it is raining already into Columbus as well. With some moderate rainfall here moving through Bartholomew County. Otherwise, it's some light showers. Some showers in the Spencer area, Martinsville down to Bloomington, just some light rain as Interstate 69 turns into State Road 37. As you work your way up through Johnson County and into Indianapolis, you'll be dealing with some wet conditions. For those of you in northern locations this morning, we're not really dealing with a whole lot in the way of rainfall as of yet, but you see it advancing in your direction. So for most of you in northern locations, especially if you're staying in northern locales today, you'll hold off on the rain probably until about 8, 9 o'clock. I think it moves into the metro area as we get closer to the top of the hour. And it's a pretty big storm system as far as the amount of miles it covers. The center of low pressure is back off to the west near Wichita, but look at all this rain advancing way out towards the east coast. So we'll get into the warm side of this system. That's the good news. This area of low pressure is going to pass to our west. That keeps it all rain for us throughout the day today. However, if your travel plans do take you up towards Chicago and then even a little further to the west, that's where you're going to run into issues with this being a snowmaker. Let me walk you through the day on TrueCast. 11 o'clock this morning. We're dealing with scattered showers, and this is not an all-day solid rain from start to finish. That's the good news. There will be some dry hours mixed in, but you're always going to have that threat of rain. It's always going to have that damp feel. And I think this afternoon and this evening is when the rain becomes a little more widespread and potentially a little heavier. And it's not another question. There actually could be a rumble of thunder late tonight as the heart of the system starts to make its way into the area. Tomorrow morning's commute, still dealing with rain showers across the area, but it's all rain still tomorrow for the most part. It's not until tomorrow evening that you notice the snow starting to sneak into some northern locations. So tomorrow after sunset in just northern locations, we'll have to keep an eye on the potential of maybe some light accumulation. But again, it's only in northern locales. That should not be an issue from Indianapolis to the south. 30s and 40s here this morning. Temperatures today really not going to do a whole lot. We'll stay in the 40s from start to finish, but we're above freezing as this rain will continue to make its way into the area. And then tomorrow, more of the same, more showers in the forecast. Temperatures fairly steady, staying in the 40s. We do cool off, though, as we get another shot of some colder air by the end of the week. The trade-off, though, is we get the sunshine back. But look at those highs. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, only right around freezing, and then a little bit warmer heading into the day on Sunday. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're keeping a close eye on your roads from our live drive vehicle right now. Our photographer, Shay Goodpaster, is in the driver's seat. This is a dash cam view on westbound I-465 approaching Emerson Avenue there on the southeast side. Good morning to you in the Beech Grove area. Traffic here is moving along up to speed, and across the way you can see traffic heading eastbound is traveling smoothly as well. So that is great news this morning. Let's take a look at our traffic now map and plan out your commute up here in Hamilton County. Good morning to you in Fisher, starting off here at State Road 37, heading to the ramp system at I-465. It's a 5-minute drive. No delays at this hour to slow you down.
Turning now to college basketball, the Hoosiers NCAA tournament hopes are still alive this morning. That's thanks to a much-needed win over number 9 Penn State on Sunday in Bloomington. The win over the Nittany Lions almost got away from the Hoosiers in the second half. That's as Penn State evaporated the Hoosiers' 19-point halftime lead. The latest projection had the Hoosiers going into the March tourney as a 9 seed without Sunday's win. The Hoosiers play at Purdue on Thursday.
And for Meredith, we always have to say, boiler up. Meanwhile, Butler was looking to stop their losing streak on Sunday. The 21st ranked Bulldogs were on the road at number 15 Creighton. Now, this game would not be pretty for the Dogs. To start, a leading scorer Kamar Baldwin limped off the court with an ankle injury late in the first half. The Blue Jays would enter the half with a 19-point lead. Things did not get any prettier in the second half. Creighton's lead would go to as many as 35. The loss to Creighton could knock Butler out of the top 25 when the new rankings come out today. The Bulldogs host DePaul on Saturday.
To the NBA now, the Pacers looking to grow their winning streak to 3 on the road in Toronto. Meanwhile, the Raptors are looking to continue their red-hot streak, and they're looking for their 18th victory this season. Pacers fans wouldn't see an appearance by Victor Oladipo. He's out because of back spasms. The Raptors cruise to a 127-81 victory over the Blue and Gold. The Pacers host the Hornets tomorrow night here at home at Bankers Life Fieldhouse.
Okay, so is this you? Would you do this? How far would you go to get your favorite fast food? Come on, we want to hear about it. New at 625, the unique effort by one group of college students who wanted, they needed some chicken. How far did they go? We'll see. Coming up next.
And February is American Heart Month, and each morning we're giving you tips to a healthier lifestyle. Here's one. When eating red meat or pork, choose cuts of loin or round to limit fat. These tips are part of the Go Red for Women campaign sponsored by the American Heart Association. The time right now is 6:21. You're watching Good Morning Indiana, only on RTV6.
Hoops. This is banking. A Fifth Third better.
It is time now for what is trending at 6. Construction workers building a new patient tower in Goshen, finding some unexpected Hoosier history. The workers discovered a time capsule buried back in 1953. That's when Goshen Hospital was originally built. Hospital officials plan to unveil what is inside the time capsule later today. I always love seeing what is inside of those.
Yeah, so interesting. We made them in elementary school in Pringles cans, so
back in like
capsules.
1998.
Yeah, super long time ago, Raphael. So the Carolina Hurricanes are in the middle of a high-stakes playoff race when not one but two of their goalies got hurt in the game. So the team, desperate to stay in the game, needed to call in some backup from an unlikely place. Enter David Ayers. The 42-year-old is usually on the ice as the Zamboni driver for the minor league team. Despite his unique call-up, Ayers' start will not be soon forgotten. He stopped 8 of the 10 shots that he faced, and he's also the oldest goaltender to win the NHL debut.
Do you believe in miracles? Okay.
Yeah, seriously.
That's very cool. Good for him.
Also during the 40th anniversary, I believe, of Miracle on Ice.
He may have a new job.
Miracle on Ice.
So a college track team from upstate New York got, obviously they were interested in going the extra mile to satisfy a hankering for Chick-fil-A. Now here's the problem. The closest one, Chick-fil-A, is behind the TSA checkpoint. And so that's when the team purchased a one-way ticket to Fort Lauderdale, Florida for $98. The team's captain volunteered to go through the TSA checkpoint. He came out victorious, ordering food for 18 guys.
The hero.
I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm a big fan of the Chick-fil-A, but that's a bit much.
Producer Carl was saying it was like $5 something per person.
I don't know.
I would maybe go there.
I would have taken the trip to Fort Lauderdale.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's like, where'd our buddy go? He's supposed to come back with Chick-fil-A. Oh, he's on the way to Fort Lauderdale.
Thanks, guys.
He stood us up.
Yeah, that would be really funny.
All right, if you walk out the door this morning, have the umbrella handy. Rain is making its way into central Indiana already this morning. Rain's falling in Bloomington as well as Columbus. Getting ready to move into the metro area probably by about 7 o'clock, a little longer in northern locations. So as you walk out the door, definitely have that umbrella. The good news is it's rain for everybody. No snow in the forecast today, as temperatures will be climbing up into the mid-40s for your afternoon highs.
Todd, thanks. News reports from China and Japan show people everywhere are wearing face masks to protect from the coronavirus. As a result, face masks are selling fast, even here in the U.S.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And this morning, our John Matarese is working for you and looking into whether you should try to buy some so you don't waste your money.
Chances are that no one in your neighborhood is carrying the coronavirus. But despite that, worried Americans are stocking up on face masks, causing stores to run out.
These are the kind that it's a surgical mask.
Amy Hart shows the last 2 N95 face masks she has in her drugstore.
We can't get them anymore. They're out of stock at the warehouse.
Customers like Donna Bruce wonder if it's worth having a few after she recently saw dozens of fellow travelers wearing them flying.
In the airport, you generally see more people with masks on.
Doctors and pharmacists say while a face mask can help prevent you from spreading germs, they say they really don't do much to prevent you from catching viruses, because the main way we pick up germs is not through the air, but it's from touching contaminated surfaces.
Any kind of virus is mostly from hand-to-eye contact, hand-to-mouth contact. So the best thing you can do is wash your hands.
But despite that, people are snapping masks up. We found shelves cleared of masks at this Home Depot store. The nearby Lowe's had just a few sanding masks left.
We get tons of calls every day.
At another family-owned drugstore, Troy Stinson says it's waiting list only. What do you tell people?
We should really reserve the masks for people who are sick or immunocompromised.
Which leaves Amy Hart issuing a plea.
I would hope that people aren't just hoarding them, because that's not going to do anybody any good.
Bottom line, no harm in having a few face masks on hand just in case, but please don't hoard them to help others. And so you don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Matteries. Good morning, Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this morning, Monday morning, this is your 6:30 news feed. And Eastside Elementary School will be on partial lockdown today after a threat was made on social media. That threat made against Christian Park School 82. IPS police are working with local law enforcement to investigate. School officials have not specified the nature of that threat.
Murder charges have been filed against a man accused of killing a woman found dead inside a Fountain Square church. Metro Police believe Robert Burks strangled and stabbed Julie Morey last November. Officials were called to St. Patrick Catholic Church on Prospect Street, where they found Morey dead on a couch. Burks is already in custody in a separate case.
A teen accused of shooting and killing his uncle in Beech Grove will be tried as an adult. Devon Ford was shot multiple times last Sunday. His 16-year-old nephew, Sylvester Ford, has been charged with his murder. Police say the teen initially claimed that intruders shot his uncle. Court documents say he later told detectives he accidentally shot the man and then took the gun and $160 in cash.
Let's take you now to Monroe County. An Indiana University football player facing domestic battery charges. 20-year-old Peyton Hendershot is a sophomore redshirt tight end. Bloomington police arrested him Saturday night after they were called to an apartment on the city's south side. The alleged victim told police she had previously been in a relationship with Hendershot.
If you play the lottery, you may want to check your ticket. A winning ticket matching all 6 numbers in Saturday's Hoosier Lotto jackpot was sold in Fort Wayne. Saturday's jackpot amount was $9.8 million. Lottery officials say that ticket was sold at Cap and Cork Liquors on Bluffton Road. The winning numbers are on your screen: 10, 16, 17, 18, 21, and 45. And Raphael said he would just take $1 million of that. That's what he would be happy with.
Listen, Allen County, another beautiful place. I would love to have been in Fort Wayne.
At the Cap and Cork.
Listen, if you're thirsty, you're thirsty. We're going to see a lot of...
Great segue,
Yeah, the ground is pretty soggy. Probably doesn't need any more rain, but we are going to be getting quenched ground over the next few days as this rain continues to make its way into the area. Already this rain is making its way into southern locations, Columbus to North Vernon, some pockets of moderate rain, some heavier rain moving into Bedford just south of Bloomington as well. And this is all advancing up to the north. Here's a little bit of a closer look, impacting I-69 from Bloomington over towards the Bloomfield area as it makes its way south. The leading edge of the rain just now starting to approach the south side of Indianapolis in the 465 loop. So by the time we get to 7 o'clock, most of Marion County will be seeing some light rain. So it's knocking on the door southern sections of the county. To the north, it's going to take a little while for the rain to make it into your area, so you'll be drier a little longer. But once this rain arrives, this is a pretty big, slow-moving storm system. It's going to be with us throughout the day today and tomorrow. The good news is it's all rain, so grab that extra cup of coffee as you start off your Monday. Temperatures are in the 40s, but as you grab the cup of coffee, on the other hand, make sure you grab the umbrella as well, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We have live drive monitoring your commute this morning as you're heading out the door, heading to the Greenwood area, I-65 southbound here. You can see traffic there moving into Johnson County is traveling smoothly, and the opposite direction heading northbound is traveling up to speed as well. Great news for your commute. Now, the I-465 southbound ramp to I-70 eastbound over on the east side that was damaged after that tanker explosion on Thursday is back open this morning, so that is the good news. NDOT closed that ramp on Sunday so crews could do some patchwork. Heavy fire was widespread across the bridge, causing it to be closed for several hours as crews worked to clean up and assess the damage. One lane of I-465 southbound ramp to eastbound I-70 remained open until Saturday morning. NDOT says they wanted to wait until a low traffic time to complete that bridge work. The closure lasted until 3:30 Sunday afternoon. Again, it is back open for your Monday morning commute.
Hundreds of thousands of people rent their homes and apartments in Indianapolis, and unfortunately, some of those renters fall victim to unfair landlords.
The City County Council is voting tonight on an initiative that, if passed, it will give tenants protection and access to legal services. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning. And Alyssa, this initiative has already passed through a committee. So fill us in, what's next?
That's right. So the committee voted on that initiative earlier this month, and tonight that initiative goes to the full city-county council, and they will vote whether or not to pass this in favor of renters in Indianapolis. RTV6 has reported many times on residents forced to live in unsafe conditions by their landlords. If this initiative is passed, an additional $250,000 will go to the Office of Public Health and Safety. Those funds will be used to create an informational hotline for tenants and to provide legal services when necessary. The proposed initiative was announced by Mayor Joe Hogsett, noting he'd heard of Indianapolis residents trapped in unlivable housing with no place to turn. In addition to the funding, landlords would also be required to inform renters of their rights up front. Now, that initiative will be voted on by the City County Council tonight at their session, which starts at 7 o'clock. Again, if passed, those rights will go into effect, and one of the first things that will go into effect is that hotline, which would be into effect starting this spring. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. The time right now is 6:35. Now to the race for the White House. They're still counting and certifying the votes from Saturday's Nevada caucuses, but those numbers are showing that Senator Bernie Sanders appears to be in the driver's seat for the nomination heading into the main part of the Democratic primary season. Sanders easily won the most delegates in Nevada. That set up a scenario in which he has at least a chance to secure enough delegates during next week's Super Tuesday primaries to put him on the path to being the Democratic challenger to President Trump. Here's a look at how Nevada's delegates are allotted so far, with 88% of the state's precincts reporting in. Sanders came very close to winning a majority of the delegates, even with 5 other candidates actively competing. Former Vice President Joe Biden was second. Former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg, he was not able to repeat his performances in Iowa and New Hampshire, and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren came in fourth.
Pete Buttigieg is not done fighting for votes in Nevada. His campaign has asked that state's Democratic Party to investigate what they say were voting irregularities. Specifically, the Buttigieg campaign claims there were problems with integrating early votes with Saturday's in-person caucus voting. Buttigieg has suggested he believes he should be second in delegates instead of Joe Biden once all the votes are counted. Buttigieg shared a special moment with a 9-year-old boy at a town hall in Colorado over the weekend. Zachary Rowe asked the former mayor for advice on how to come out as gay. The man who was the first openly gay elected official in Indiana answered him this way.
Thank you very much. This is for me. The first thing is that it won't always be easy, but that's okay, because you know who you are. And that's really important, because when you know who you are, you have a center of gravity that can hold you together when all kinds of chaos is happening around you. That's the first thing I want you to know. The second thing I want you to know is that you'll never know who's taking their lead from you, who's watching you and deciding that they can be a little braver because you have been brave.
Zachary later got to meet with Buttigieg and his husband Chasten after the town hall meeting.
The time now is 6:37. President Trump is in India this morning. He spoke at a large rally with that country's prime minister just hours ago. But back in Washington, the president's administration is denying new reports that Russia is working again to help him win re-election. Following pushback from the administration, U.S. intelligence officials are now claiming that a briefing given to members of Congress earlier this month overstated how much Russia was trying to interfere in the race for the White House. But on Sunday, the chief of staff for Vice President Mike Pence would not say exactly what was said during that intelligence briefing.
You're denying that Shelby Pearson, who's the election security czar, you're denying that under questioning from Democrats, she gave any indication that the Russian efforts to meddle in the election was because they have found a preference for President Trump. You're flatly denying that.
That was a classified briefing. I'm not going to comment on specifically what she said in that. I am telling you.
No, wait a minute. You did just classify and said there's no intelligence.
I'm telling you the briefing that the president received that I was a party to. And that's not information that came out of the briefing that the president got on election security, Chris.
The campaign for Democratic frontrunner Bernie Sanders says it was also recently briefed on intelligence that Russia was trying to help his campaign. Sanders issued a statement saying in part, "I don't care, frankly, who Vladimir Putin wants to be president. My message, to put it clear, stay out of American elections."
College students are studying architecture with the help of virtual reality. Coming up, our Kelsey Anderson shows us how technology is bringing their projects to life and getting students ready for their futures. Time right now is 6:38. Stick around. We'll be right back.
On our TV6 Hiring Hoosiers partner.
Welcome back. Hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's focus, linking you up with skills, resources, and jobs. And we love to find ways that education can take you into a career.
So today we look in on a class where architecture students are studying how historic buildings, how they were constructed, and the unique way in which they get a look inside of those special buildings. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with more on how this class can take students from virtual reality to a real career. Fill us in, Kelsey.
Hey, good morning, Raphael and Lauren. So for most of us, when we build buildings, it's usually with Legos and we're starting from scratch. But for architects, they're usually going with existing buildings and they're fixing, adding, and repairing to what's already there. And that's why this unique class at Ball State University is so important for their future careers.
Our oldest drawings probably go back to 1900, 1910 or so.
The Columbus, Indiana Architectural Archives is filled with history of the city, known for its unique architecture.
That a lot of people just see a normal building and don't think twice of it, whereas a lot of the architects, that's all that we see are the buildings.
And right now, architecture students at Ball State University are going through these old blueprints in hopes of making a virtual exhibit for people to visit so they can better understand the beauty of these old buildings.
We're creating an exhibit about all of these different buildings. And one of the big features that we focused on was how to communicate these details that we speak of every day, but the common person doesn't know exactly what we're talking about. So breaking it down into basic features is a big component.
It's kind of like knowing where you've come from in order to know where you're going to go.
Kristen Berry is an assistant professor of architecture. She says this research is important for the future architects to do.
A lot of the buildings they'll be working on as architects are going to be existing buildings. So it's important for them to know how to research, how to find those drawings so that they can work with them later and then incorporate some of those ideas into their new design.
The exhibit will open on May 9th at the Columbus Visitor Center, and Barry says that their augmented reality mobile app isn't live yet, but as soon as it is, you'll be able to see the entire exhibit right on your cell phone. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. Next on Good Morning Indiana, firefighters spend every day protecting our lives, but their job may be putting their health at risk. We'll show you how one company is stepping up to help. Todd.
And rain is currently overspreading central Indiana. Once it starts in your neighborhood, it is going to be with us throughout the entire day, as it's going to be a pretty soggy Monday for us. That's going to carry over into your Tuesday, unfortunately, as well. We'll talk all about it coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 6:44. Stay with us. We're back in just a few minutes.
IndyChannel.com.
It is 6:46 on your Monday. Here's a live look at your commute from our live drive vehicle heading from the south side into the downtown area on northbound I-65 right now. Near the south split, you can see traffic here is moving along up to speed. Our photographer Shay Goodpaster tells us it was sprinkling a little bit on the south side, so keep that in mind for your morning drive. We'll continue to keep our eyes out for any crashes or delays.
We saw firsthand Thursday the risk firefighters take daily to protect the community. Crews rushing to the scene dealing with thick smoke and heavy fire, and unfortunately, their job can be a risk to their health. Skin cancer is common for firefighters, which is why it's so important to remove the cancer-causing agents from their gear. We talked to the director of emergency services, who looked into an ultrasonic cleanser that can help remove carcinogens from firefighters' gear. Those cleaning devices were donated by a company called 1-800-BOARD-UP. The company purchased around 20 cleansers and has been donating them to local fire departments.
As I give those out to people, I quite almost literally see the faces of those firefighters I've worked with, and it kind of gives me the drive in order to continue to give these out, because you just never know who you could save or whose life you can make better during their experience of working or in post-employment.
So far, 1-800-BOARD-UP has donated the cleansers to at least 13 fire departments, including Greenfield, Avon, Danville, and Whitestown. They have about 6 more they're currently hoping to donate as well.
Getting ready for college can be overwhelming, but one event is easing the load by helping families file the necessary paperwork to get the financial aid that they need. College Gold Sunday connects families with professionals that can help navigate the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA for short. Colleges and universities require students to complete the FAFSA if they're seeking federal financial aid, including grants or loans.
It could make that difference between someone who may not go because they have some financial concerns, or that is now going because they've alleviated those concerns and are able to move forward with the college process.
Here's what you need to know. The FAFSA must be received on or before April the 15th in order to be eligible for aid. If you miss College Gold Sunday and you still need help, you can call the Federal Student and Information Aid Center. We have that information on the RTV6 app, as well as our website, theindychannel.com.
And the rain is moving in, as we can see behind Todd right now. When we started the show off here at 4:30, Todd is just in the bottom corner of the screen. And here it is.
Yeah, you know, it's spreading to the north, and pretty soon everybody's going to be dealing with rain showers. For those of you to the north, probably takes just another hour or two to get to you, with obviously the 2-hour time frame being the further north you are. But there's been some pretty good rain already in southern sections, just east of Columbus here as you work your way over towards Interstate 74 in the Greensburg area. Pretty good shower is taking place. Another good downpour in Bloomington right now, and a good chunk of Monroe County for that matter, as it stretches all the way down towards Lake Monroe and then up to the north as you start making your way into the Martinsville area out of Bloomington. And as far as what's happening in the metro area, just probably a few sprinkles at this point in and around the metro area, but as soon as this rain starts, it's going to continue off and on for the remainder of the day. So if it's raining as you walk out the door, you're going to be dealing with rain showers off and on, so have the umbrella handy. And it's a pretty big storm system that's impacting the area. It stretches all the way from the center of low pressure to our west, and then it pushes the rain all the way to the east coast. And this is a real slow-moving storm system, so we're going to be talking about it in several aspects over the next couple days. It's really not until Wednesday afternoon that we'll be done talking about it. It's mainly rain at first, and you see there's some heavier rain in Illinois that's going to be advancing in our direction as well. Later on this morning to the northwest, it's mainly going to be a snow event. As far as snow in our area on the backside of this system, once it pushes off towards the east, that's when we'll start to bring in at least a potential of seeing a little bit of snow across just parts of the area, and that's not until tomorrow evening. So this rain will continue off and on throughout the morning hours, probably becomes a little more widespread throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours. It's not going to be a steady rain from start to finish, so it's not a complete washout, but if you do get a break from the rain, it's probably going to be fairly short-lived off and on throughout the afternoon and evening hours. It'll continue overnight as well into our Tuesday morning commute. So just a very damp feel the next few days. And then watch as this snow to the north, it'll start advancing southward once we get to tomorrow evening. As far as any accumulation, there could be some minor accumulation just in northern areas starting tomorrow night after about 8 o'clock, and then into Wednesday as well. There could be some minor accumulation, but it's all rain right now. Temperatures in the 30s. Not the best day to be walking the dog. Pick the dry hours if possible. Our featured dogs of the day here are Abel and Cooper, sent in by Ginger in Fishers. Temperatures hold steady. We'll give you the caution pause just because of the rainfall. And if you do send your pictures to my Facebook page, Todd Clausen at RTV6, please give me the names of your pups as well, because I get a lot of them that have no names, so then I can't put them on or I have to reach out to you. So as we go forward in this forecast, it's drier at the end of the week, but it turns colder, Lauren, with temperatures that will be hovering right around freezing.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. And our photographer, Shay Goodpaster, here in live drive, heading westbound on I-70 near Holt Road on the west side. Says it's sprinkling where he is, Todd, this morning. So keep that in mind as you're heading out that way for your commute. We do have one crash to our west right now. The southwest side, I should tell you about a crash blocking the left lane of State Road 67. This is near Mendenhall Road to the southwest. A vehicle there is in the ditch. We'll keep you updated on that. But you can see where Shay is right now. Everything is traveling up to speed. The opposite direction, eastbound, heading towards the south split, that is traveling up to speed as well.
A 7-year-old boy and his 17-year-old sister from Idaho have been missing now for months. Coming up today on Good Morning America, newly released doorbell camera video believed to be the last known images of that little boy as his mom remains jailed in Hawaii.
And hot, fresh, good donuts delivered right to your door. 1330 North Meridian Street, open for business. Come on, just bring them over. But, you know, the service is underway, but there's a catch. Here in Indianapolis, why you may not be so lucky. That story and much more coming up as Good Morning Indiana continues. Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
Well, if you're a donut lover, you might be down with this, but unless you live either to the north or south of here, you're going to be out of luck.
Starting this Saturday, Krispy Kreme will start a delivery service across the country. It means you can order online or on the Krispy Kreme app, and those hot, fresh donuts will be delivered right to your door.
So here's the sad news. It's on my paper right here. There's a catch, unfortunately, for most of us, right? You have to be near one of Krispy Kreme's 350 U.S. locations, and in most cases, you have to be 10 miles from a shop. You may remember that several years ago, Krispy Kreme cut the number of their walk-in stores in many states, and right now, there are only 3 Krispy Kreme locations in Indiana. There's one in Mishawaka near South Bend, one in Evansville, and the other one in Jeffersonville. I say, Good Morning Indiana road trip after the show.
You know what? There is only one glazed donut that I will go for, and it is the frozen one from Low Bill Foods, which does not exist anymore in Greensburg. If you're a Good Morning Indiana watcher, you know I've talked about them before. So that's no Krispy Kreme for me. I want the Low Bill frozen
I'll eat any of them.
I know. Todd would eat a donut out of a garbage can.
I don't discriminate. All right, outside right now, we're watching the rain make its way into central Indiana. Could be heavy at times here throughout the morning hours. Just grab the umbrella. You'll need it throughout the day as this rain continues all the way into tomorrow.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're back here in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic.
Have a
all
great
your
day.
news throughout the...
Grab a donut. Get
I was
some coffee.
thinking of donuts.
Yeah.